your hand if you like the game of hide and seek. I do too. There was the thrill of hiding, knowing that your annoying brother or sister couldn't find you, even when they kept searching everywhere and screaming your name. It made you feel important, and it was exciting that someone was expending a lot of energy to actually see you. In this game, we are rewarded for hiding, and we get the attention we seek. But in the real world, when we keep everything so hidden, we are rarely seen, and the attention we seek is never given to us. What I've come to realize is those who really see me are people that don't even know me. Last year, I was walking out of my algebra class, and apparently it was that time of the month. So let me break this down gently. Metaphorically, I was a French fry with a huge blob of ketchup on me. Of all the amazing subtle colors of the universe, why couldn't our cycle color be pale or even colorless? But of course not. It has to be red. So I'm frantically walking backwards in hopes that no one would see my massive stain, and I was paranoid that someone would try to take a picture. That's all I needed, to be plastered on social media as #FrenchFryGirl. This could have happened because it's high school and it's a way tougher crowd than y'all. So luckily, on that day, a girl I had never met asked me if I was okay. Before I could even answer, she threw her sweater at me and told me to wrap it around my waist. And then poof, problem solved. I spent the next couple of days looking for this girl, and I finally saw her when I was walking out of my physics class. I told her she had been the greatest friend ever to me and saved me from intense humiliation. She looked at me and said, "Riya, we'd never be friends," and walked away. I was so taken aback and then realized that she was probably right. But I'll come back to that. After endless failed attempts to talk to Sweater Girl, she finally agreed to meet. I'll call her Jane. I kept pressing her on why she insisted we would never be close. She said her life was super complicated, and if she were to reveal to her friends what was actually going on, they would just run away. As it turns out, Jane's mother had been extremely abusive, forcing her to move in with her grandparents, and unfortunately, they just kept defending her mother's erratic behavior. We spoke for hours that day, and I remember two things about the conversation. It was raw and effortless. Jane is still extremely guarded. We don't have a traditional friendship. We don't go to the mall. She doesn't come over, but I couldn't care less because we share an incredible connection on what really matters. And it got me thinking that sometimes when we choose our friends, we bond over the low-hanging fruits. For example, if I were to take a poll of people in this room who enjoys watching movies, eating good food, and dreams about traveling to beautiful countries, I think we would all be the best of friends. Why? Because we share the same interest in what makes us happy. So what happens when we flip this? What if we were bold enough to connect on what makes us truly sad and dark? What if there was a website called shatter.com where we bonded on the intense pain we are going through? In this site, you could post the not so fantastic news in your life, where you can reveal to others that you are sick and tired of pleasing everyone, that the stifling relationships you're in draw more comfort than having to speak your mind and stand alone. That crippling self-doubt is your constant companion, and on a daily basis, you feel nothing except the agony of being a massive fraud. In this site, you can tell others that you are broke, mired in debt, that your spending is a manifestation of the profound emptiness you feel and can never fill, that you are embroiled in bitter legal battles with your own flesh and blood. Sounds like a webpage you would never go to, and you probably wouldn't buy any souvenirs from this site. So how come the site that no one visits is the one we're all most familiar with? And this webpage could never launch because we all know that our medical history is private, our mental health is private, our finances are private, our legal issues are private, our grades are private, our salary is private. And if these privacy laws were broken, something happens. We would be completely exposed. But isn't it odd that everything that truly reveals the actual pain and suffering we are going through is always private? We have been conditioned to believe that privacy protects us. In fact, the global cybersecurity industry is valued at $156 billion. We spend an enormous amount of money to ensure that no one can really know or understand us. So, just to reassure everyone, I'm not advocating that everything needs to be revealed. I'm just saying it shouldn't come as any great surprise when the friendships and relationships in our lives may often seem convenient or empty because we keep everything so hidden. And that's why the connections we have with strangers can be so profound. We want privacy because it allows us to control the narratives of our lives, but more importantly, it allows us to control what others think of us. But this can't be done with strangers. When we try so hard to control our image and how others perceive us, it gets exhausting, overwhelming, and understandably, sometimes we just crack. At that moment, when a stranger reaches out to us, it is so pure because they stand to gain nothing. They just want to ease our pain and show us their humanity. This can be life-altering. When they speak to us, there's no preparation, no dress rehearsal. They are also caught off guard. The advice they give us isn't polished or refined because they have no history, no data points, no patterns of our behavior, no expectation of us. They are just speaking their truth. And sometimes, this is the authenticity we crave from our own family and friends. But because they fear being rejected by us, they sometimes say nothing, or they just tell us what we want to hear, even when every fiber in their body violently disagrees. And this can be a two-way street. When something bad happens to us, who do we turn to? Oftentimes, this isn't a parent, spouse, or friend. We don't tell them because we are ashamed and don't want to burden them. So ironically, the ones that would help us at any cost and go to any length to rescue us remain in the dark because we are terrified of worrying or hurting them. And that's why the connections we have with strangers can be so beneficial. When Jane reached out to me that day, she knew nothing about me. She just knew at that moment I was unraveling. So the next time I was at school and heard a girl sobbing in the bathroom stall next to me, I didn't rush out to give her privacy. I knew she had no intention of telling me what was going on, but in that moment she revealed everything because her pain was intense. I was a nobody to her, and she felt safe. Some people may say, I'm scared to talk to those that I don't know. I don't want to be nosy. I need to give others their space. I have too much going on in my own life. I'm a private, shy person. I don't want to be perceived as nuts. These can all be justifiable reasons. But the next time that you see a stranger who is visibly distraught or embarrassed or lost at work, school, a grocery store, a restaurant, a competition, the streets, don't walk away. Just always ask them if they are okay. You are not saving everyone. You are just acknowledging their pain. It's easy to justify why we should keep our distance from strangers. We tell ourselves, I'll just surround myself with people who I know who are highly educated, successful, and look normal. And that way they won't be a bad influence on me or my family. And I'll still be empathetic to others outside my close circle of friends, but I don't want to associate with them because they may be damaged and they aren't my problem. And we can go a step further to justify our detachment, especially with those we feel have brought on their own doom and gloom. This happens a lot in high school. So-and-so deserves an STD because they are such a slut. And why do we have to help the drug addicts? Because they choose to get high and ruin their lives. So logically, we don't reach out to any of these folks. But the consequences of anyone's actions may be from a lifetime of poor decisions. Or it could be from just one stupid mistake, one fleeting bad decision. Either way, does it even really matter? Consequences don't judge, so why should we? They just show up unannounced, and so should we. We just need the courage to do so. even if it's for a person we don't know or we think is messed up or crazy. How about we stop demonizing the word crazy and realize it's just another rung in our DNA? Most of us either come from crazy families, we're crazy ourselves, or we drive others crazy. So when you distance yourself from strangers, you are just missing out on a great opportunity to understand yourself. And the next time you are out with your friends, ask yourself, what do I really know about them? What's troubling them? Was I able to help in any capacity, or did their pain make me feel uncomfortable? Or worse yet, was it a source of gossip? To really connect with one another, let's stop keeping everything so private and start fearlessly bonding over our pain. How about we let go of the intense desire to control how our friends and family perceive us? Let's stop disinfecting our stories, photoshopping our images, and suppressing what we really want to say. We're told to fake it till we make it, hide our blemishes, stay cool, act calm, don't burn down, don't burn any bridges, and then we wonder why no one really gets us. I'll tell you who will. Chances are it could turn out to be a complete stranger.